muted.
I'm done. My mom has nothing
I'll tell
to
you
say.
when I'm done.
The passion fruit goes up.
It's good without too.
It's really good without. Because once you get to the bottom, it tastes like the banana. Is that your look of joy? I was like, and
I'm muted.
I'm done. My mom has nothing to say.
I'll tell you when I'm done.
If you listen to the mainstream media who are propagating this hate against Harry and Meghan, you would think that people don't like Harry and Meghan. But you know, it's all a campaign. Look at this. She launched her product yesterday on the 2nd of April. And as you can see from here, sold out. Raspberry jam, gone. Herbal tea, ginger tea. Flour sprinkle, gone. Shortbread, gone. Okay, let me see what other products. Sold out, see? Wildflower honey with honeycomb, sold out. Herbal hibiscus tea, sold out. Peppermint tea, herbal peppermint tea, sold out. Nearly every product has sold out. It's just this one that's coming up, raspberry spread. But the rest of the product that I already been available, they've all sold out within 20 minutes apparently. 20 minutes, all gone. So for people who are engaged in this hate campaign, your effort is not really doing anything. My goodness, you're not doing anything. You're just wasting money. People adores Harry and Meghan. Otherwise, they wouldn't support Harry and Meghan. Oh, but love it. Because even the Netflix show, they tried to sabotage it, but people kept watching. And it's coming. The season 2 has already been, filmed. So it's, I don't know. Why don't you just stop this hate? Just stop it. Because nobody's listening. Because people can see it. It's a hate campaign. It's a hate campaign. It's so obvious. And I think people hate the hate campaign. They would otherwise they may not even like or not like Meghan and Harry, but they just dislike the campaign itself. And that would be me in that I just hate the campaign more than just, Harry and Meghan, they're great people. There's so many people who are great in the world that are doing phenomenal stuff, but I just hate the campaign more than anything else. So the hate campaign, the royal mark of the world, the things that they do around anything to do Harry and Meghan, I hate that more than anything else.
It's a very thinly veiled, but a blistering personal attack on Harry. I mean, it really tears him to shreds.
Yeah, that particular line, she talks about those who play the victim card and then use the very press they disdain to harm people who have the courage to challenge their conduct. Who could she be talking about? I mean, that is very much directed at Prince Harry, isn't it? She doesn't say it so much. Well, there's been this huge fallout between her and the board of trustees, and Prince Harry, as patron, has stepped down in solidarity with the trustees. So the trustees disagreed with the direction she was taking the charity in. They wanted her out. They wanted to vote her out. She wouldn't go. she said she was going to sue them. So they've all had to step down, and Prince Harry and Prince Say-So have now stepped down in solidarity with them. She's appointed new trustees, but to get two patrons with the profile of Prince Say-So and Prince Harry is going to be a very different matter indeed. And now we've got a Charity Commission investigation.
And it seems that the whole row centres around a decision by the new chairman, Dr. Sophie Chanduka, to focus fundraising in Africa. There have been high-profile fundraising events for Centre Bali, not in Africa, here in London, in the UK, and over in the States.
In America.
Now, you would have thought Prince Harry would fully support fundraising efforts to be based in the place where the charity is supposed to be helping.
Yeah, because the charity was initially set up and based here in London. It's now moved to Africa. There's been a shift in direction where it was a developmental charity looking at children with HIV/AIDS. It's a much broader approach now, looking at climate change, young people's wellness, for example. But yes, the fundraising that takes place, big polo matches that take place every year in the United States, raising something like £10 million because people want to come and see Prince Harry. She's wanted to take a much more African-led approach to the charity, and it appears that somewhere in that shift in direction, there's been a big bust-up.
Hello, welcome to MzansiOz Diary. My name is Connie. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. Yeah, while the media is continuing the smear campaign against the Sussexes, Meghan is out here doing what many said she couldn't, building a successful brand. Her product as ever brand were sold out within 20 minutes of their launch. That's not just success, that's an impact, people. You know, it's amazing how she was able to pull this one off, and it just shows that hate just doesn't succeed, can only succeed for a short time. When it's becoming a propaganda, people can see it. It's easy to see it. Meghan's first product under the new brand flew off digital shelves. It was sold out within 20 minutes. A clear sign of demand and the brand power. No paid PR, no real name drops, just vision, strategy, and substance. When you're being hated by headlines but loved by customers globally, you're doing something right. And that is Meghan Sussex. The smear campaign has failed. You know, the allegation against Prince Harry, accusation of Meghan being a bully, his name being thrown out there all of a sudden when it's actually she had nothing to do with this charity. You know, tabloids and the mainstream media have tried to frame them as toxic, manipulative, irrelevant, and yet people keep buying, following and showing up for them, for their cause, for their philanthropic work. So they are very much loved. The hate campaign is clearly it's not working. Why? Why is it not working? That's because people are tired of manufactured outrage. People can see it. It's no longer like previous years where you just listen to one news that keeps feeding you stuff. It's the only channel. There's a lot of news, you know, out there. So there's a lot of information people can look up very quickly. And information often that a news mainstream media can tell the audience, people can find the answer, the correct information within 15 minutes. Like, I'm just being conservative about their time, really. They can find that information very quickly online and elsewhere that contradict the story. And that's what we're seeing with the decline in viewership for mainstream media, and actually for them, having this presence in social media, because otherwise people don't watch mainstream news anymore. People sit and watch the news through YouTube, through other social media platforms, even the news. They don't go and watch television and watch the channel. So if it mainstream media, you're still using the same platform, the same method, no wonder the viewership is dwindling. The growth, it is where people are, it's where people are talking. And it's very clear people can see the smear campaign, that this is manufactured and it's a smear campaign. And if people thought this was actually true, they wouldn't buy it. Just like we've seen with other brands, like the Tesla brand and others, they wouldn't buy it if they thought it was legitimate, had any merit in it. Okay, so that is the bottom line. So most people, like myself, it's not Meghan they hate. It's the campaign. The campaign. People hate more the campaign itself than they actually have anything to do with Harry and Meghan. So, because Meghan represents the independence, confidence, and success on her own terms. Why would you hate that? You know, if you are for people working hard, building their own brand and building their own businesses, not relying on government handouts or any form of assistance from the taxpayer, you would actually be supportive of very independent women like Meghan and many others, not just her. I'm just talking about her because this is about Meghan and her success in launching As Ever brand that's been sold out. You can't find any. And it's actually sold out. I think it's only available in America and in Canada. I'm not sure about in Canada, but it's sold out just in America. So it's not a global brand yet, but even in America it's sold out. So people even within America, they want to have a taste of As Ever raspberry jam. Oh gosh. You know, somehow what she represent for some people, it's threatening. But more and more people are rejecting their biases and are embracing the resilience. And that would be me. I embrace people who are resilient. I embrace something that it actually seems reasonable and honest. And that is Meghan and Harry. So the public isn't stupid. Like I say in the video that I spoke about, when people were posting negative information about, with Love Meghan, that had nothing to do with the stuff that was shown in that With Love Meghan series. It was all in negative. It was all hate campaign to sabotage her series. But despite all of that, it actually was in the top 10 in many countries. The public isn't stupid, okay? If I can see the pattern, so much to see the pattern now by going through a lot of files than many years ago. Like I said, if you just look, watching just news channel from the television, it's hard to go through the file. But if you have social media, it's so easy to look at the pattern. The pattern is easy to identify from the social media. Even I would argue, say that even the pattern of who's going to win the election is easier to identify from the social media than to identify it from the mainstream media. That is my thought about it. And that's how I was able to identify earlier on that Donald Trump was going to be the winner of the US election, despite all the hoo-ha. So because the conversation is on social media, what people are thinking, what people are saying, and it is a very important platform for anybody to, if you know how to use it, of course. Some people may feel like they're threatened by it because people are free. They would want to have some kind of control over it. Control is bad because then you do not have, when you control people, they're not going to be freely able to express their thoughts and their ideas. And so controlling them isn't a good idea, because then it moves them elsewhere, and you will be left out from hearing these thoughts and ideas. What other community thinks about certain issues. So, you know, like I said, it's the public is choosing the truth over the tabloid headlines. So it's very interesting to see the progress that communities are making out there, and they're not falling for just things that are told in the news. People are making their own assessment. What's next for the haters? When success keeps proving your narrative wrong, what do? The hate machine may double down, but the audience is shrinking. And I think I can see that the audience for the hate machine is shrinking very fast. Meanwhile, Meghan is building and winning. Why I'm saying the audience for the Meghan and Harry hate is shrinking, I actually was stunned to hear that someone who used to be one of the people of the propagandists of spreading hate for Meghan, and while she was in the royal family, I was listening to her saying something that was once positive about Harry, and I thought, whoa, what happened to her? She's saying something positive about Harry. She seemed not to believe Dr. Sophie Chandauka for some reason. And I thought it would be the first person who would blame Harry, blame Meghan, for allegations that don't look like they've got any merit, because it had merit, it would have been litigated by the Charity Commission, and by now would be talking about the outcome of that litigation. But nobody can go and litigate things in the press. You don't litigate stuff like that, inflammatory allegations like that are serious like that, in the media, in the press, if you want people to believe it. They're not litigated. They litigated using the right and correct governance channel and processes that are in place in any workplace, charity, or in any organization. If it was at all needed to be litigated, is if people are commenting on the outcome of it, not before or while it's actually being filed, allegedly. So this story of Dr. Sophie Chandauka has no merit. It's just another smear campaign, in my view, but this one has already collapsed because the very same media now are actually turning against her. Yeah. See? Very same media now are starting to see the whole thing, because they can see that now people don't just listen to them, they look at information. It's so easy to access information and to actually prove that someone is actually lying about information. Just like I went over and checked that she was actually lying about even just the number, how many staff at Sintibale, because the staff that are available in the commissioner's website are not that. I showed you the number. So if the staff, that's so many, and they've just recently updated the trustee and everything else about that, why they still have this low number of staff at Sintibale? So that doesn't make sense. Either someone is lying, so yeah. See, easy to catch the lie very quickly these days.
Well, I love Harry, I love William. Now, you see, the thing is, I think it was a nice gesture. You see, that lady, Sophie, she doesn't understand how charity is, like, initiated and raised. Can you imagine, at the end of a polo match, with all Harry's mates, how much they would have thrown in the pot? With Netflix following as well? Jesus, she don't know the opportunity that she made the charity miss out on.
Yeah.
And there is no I in team. And she must go back to the foundations of charity. Hold on. Charity, Harry is the patriot. Patriot.
Right. Are you originally from Stoke?
Patriot. No, I'm from South London.
I thought so.
Originally. So, it doesn't matter where I'm from.
No, I just love your accent. I hear what you're saying. That if he launches the person I called the wife earlier at the charity polo event, maybe it becomes a better event. Maybe we're seeing this the wrong way round, Jonathan.
Well, I think Emma's absolutely spot on that. Actually, I stick to my original position. I'm very bored of talking about Harry all the time, reading about it. But nonetheless, I think him taking Meghan to a big charity event, that's probably a good thing. People probably want to...
It commercialises it. It commercialises it if he says, can we have Netflix filming it?
I think that was the complaint.
Yeah.
Was that, first of all, having Netflix there, it had been a donated venue, and they then retracted it being donated and wanted to charge because it was commercial. But it was thanks to Harry, they found an alternative venue last minute. And it was that Meghan, they didn't know she was coming at all, and everything had been choreographed without her being an extra person on stage. I think both of those are really pathetic complaints, actually.
Hang about. Isn't, like, Netflix, like, sort of following them around, as it were, and trying to give us a sense. And then doing charity events is part of their life, so why wouldn't they film that?
Emma, what do you think? Was he wrong to say to the charity boss, hey, Netflix will be showing up later, is that okay?
What kind of an audience is Netflix going to... how many more people are going to see this charity via Netflix? Some people, it's going worldwide. If I'm a charity, I want people to know about my charity. And if I'm going to get it boomed around the world by Netflix on a flick of a button with Serena, with the Prince, with his wife, with Serena Williams, and then we're on Netflix, and then with all Harry's mates, look, you missed a golden opportunity.
Okay, that's interesting. You think, Bill, sympathy with Harry or the opposite?
Oh, Harry, absolutely. Harry, you'll see this unravel over the next few days and find out that this lady has told more lies than anything. What you're finding now is that she's imported one of William's henchmen, as he was sitting next to her on the programme with on Sky yesterday. The same as the imported Jason Knopf when they tried to beat the Daily Mail.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for all your calls on this later. See, it gets vexed, doesn't it? What do you think?
To do a bit of digging, as I always do. I love researching before I come on here and say what I need to say. And I did a bit of research on the current chairperson of Sentebale. And this is actually a person who co-founded the Black British Business Awards. It's a very prestigious initiative which is aimed at uplifting Black British businesses. I remember about 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was asked to apply. I didn't, for some reason, don't know why, didn't apply. But I know the awards have actually gone from strength to strength. Or so it seems, because here's the twist. The current chairperson of Sentebale has actually resigned from the charity Black British Business Awards, while that same charity is actually over £600,000 in debt. I know. This is the irony alert. So she's been preaching about creating legacies and empowerment and supporting the community, but she's actually left a major project in the red. Oh my goodness. And of course, the press are not focusing on that at all, because they're using this debacle around Sentebale as an opportunity to be toxic towards Prince Harry and Princess Meghan Sussex. The lesson here is when you're managing a business, especially a charity, it's about accountability. You can't just change the mission or jump ship when things get rocky. So the very thing she's accusing Prince Harry and Prince Cecil of doing, she's actually done. I think I have never been so gobsmacked in my life. The fact that you are now pointing the fingers at others instead of owning your responsibility in all this, again, gobsmacked. So if you're going to preach empowerment and leadership, you better walk the walk. Don't just talk it. Otherwise, you risk losing all credibility. So, hey, what are your thoughts on this? I'd like to hear from you. Please comment, please like, and please share this video. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur, and I'm trying to build a community of business-minded and luxury-minded people on this app. So I would really appreciate a follow. The Sente Bale plot twist that I feel many people are not talking about. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur, and I used to be a headhunter who has recruited to major charities, and I've recruited to chair positions. So let's get into it. You can't make this up. Not only does the chairperson of Sente Bale refuse to step down after all the trustees resign, after the CEO resigns, and after the two founders resign. But this is the thing, within 24 hours, new trustees magically appear. And not only that, one name stands out. Ian Rawlinson, a known ally of Prince William. So wasn't Sente Bale founded by Prince Harry to support vulnerable children? How did it suddenly get infiltrated by the other brothers' inner circle? Plot twist. So let's get the situation straight. We have a charity in financial ruin under a particular chairperson. We have all the original leadership gone. We have a major donor lost after 10 years of working with this charity, and suddenly the other brother's guy suddenly appears in charge. Is it a coincidence, or is it a calculated takeover? All I know is something very shady is going on, and I'm going to continue watching the numbers.
We just want to kick our feet up and harvest honey and play with bees outside and make berries and honey and lemon zest cake and not have it be too perfect, but know damn well that it tastes
It was a lemon honey cake, and I want some.
delicious.
And I want some tea, and I want to sit in the garden. And that's what they don't want. They want us out here working. They want us stressed out. They want us on antidepressants. They don't want us living this quiet luxury life. Like, I feel like she came on TV and told the secret. This is the secret.
And we just want to kick
Very in a few seconds. So if you're media, yeah, you better be careful. Now you're not, because credibility is so important, and if you lose credibility, it's really hard to build it up, that credibility, and you can lose audiences as well along the way when you don't you're not careful. So you can't really cancel who's doing the work, showing the receipt, and build a legacy. You just can't cancel that. To everyone rooting for Meghan and for women of color breaking all the barriers, this is your moment. Keep watching, keep supporting, build the work, speaks louder than the smear. And you only build the work through credibility. And my plea for all women, especially women of color, stop using your identity. Stop that stuff. Identity doesn't work. Identity is a scam. Don't use your identity, and refuse and reject using any form of identity. You know, African, black, yada yada. Nah, it's who you are, your name and your last name, and what you stand for. That's more important than your identity, that you're male or female, or you're African, and who you are, and all of that. Identity, it's not going to build you a career, okay? And identity, it's been used, as we've seen in a lot of programs, as a form of, you know, for a few selected people to enrich themselves. Because even with Dr. Sophie Chandauka, I think she's used her connection to Africa as the way to enrich herself. But when you look at her competency and the thing that she's achieved herself in her businesses, she's achieved none of that. She has not built a successful business herself or a successful charity. She hasn't fundraised for any charity to say, for us to believe that she's successful at you know, fundraising enough to say she's actually competent, and something went horrible wrong as in Tabale for her. Nothing convinced me. So that's my plea for every woman of color. Don't use your identity. Stop using it. Okay? I mean, if you're black, people can see you're black, okay? If you're female, people can see you're female. So why are you using it? That's my point. Why are you using it? Okay? Unless you're blind, okay? Don't use it. All right. Let's keep watching and keep supporting women who are doing great things out there. That's very important. It is be able to recognize the behavior that you can endorse and support, and be able to recognize behavior that you wouldn't support, regardless whether a person is black or not black. There's a lot of people commenting, oh, why? She's a black woman. How can she be doing something like that? Like I said, being black doesn't mean you are for equity. You are not for equity being black. People who are black are not for equity. Okay? It's not just a person is black in that position now they're for equity. That's identity. Black is an identity. Male or female is another form of identity, your sex. It's nothing to do with the competency and behavior and action people take. If you look from that behavioral perspective, then you can understand this concept really well, that the identity, it's been actually corrupted. It's been corrupted, and therefore, because it's been corrupted in such a way, people use it in a way to cover their own incompetence in their certain activity in their leadership. So therefore, she's not the only one who's used identity to corrupt the system. Many people do that. When they are caught out with doing bad behavior, they would use identity type to either to shut the people down who are pointing out the problem, to say, and then calling them racist or calling them xenophobia or any other name, just to shut them off. But it is they're using that to shield themselves from the very bad behavior they have. So do not use identity. Don't call yourself, you are who you are, your first name, your last name, whoever you are, but that's who you are. And don't get anyone else to rob you out of your beautiful name that you have. Okay? Thank you guys for listening. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Until next time, see ya.